So, shoulder crunch. Before we get started, I want to do a quick shout out to Half Sumo Collective, who made these amazing rash guards. This is the design they actually made previously with the United We Stand project. Awesome stuff. Be sure to check them out. I'll put a link in the description. We're not sponsored by them in any way. Just want to do a quick shout out. Guys, let's get started. So the shoulder crunch, I really like the way Gordon Ryan does this with the shoulder crunch, sumogeshi, etc. Basically, it's whenever I control, in no-gi, I control the backside of my opponent's armpit. I make a butterfly grip and I push up, I go downwards, pushing on top of her shoulder and getting control behind her armpit. If she tries to pull her arm out now, it's pretty stuck. Okay, but to get there, it's pretty hard. We can go either from the collar tie and butterfly guard. Yeah, if she has a collar tie grip anytime, I can go collar tie back. I'm going to control her elbow, pull it inwards, and as I fall back, I slide over her shoulder, extend her, and get my shoulder crunch grip. Another way to get it is to wrestle up a little bit, so she's trying to pass. I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna frame on her chest and push on her far side shoulder. Now, as I push her back and get this distance, yeah, I wanna pummel my arm underneath and take the unhook. Now, to prevent her from pushing back, my face, well, specifically my head, is going to be in place underneath the chin. So I make some distance, I push, and I get my head positioning here, I pummel, and I get the shoulder crunch grip. Now, to prevent her from passing, I either frame on her hip or I put my butterfly hooks in. Now, our first sweep is going to be really basic. Yeah, just going to use the shoulder crunch to make a sweep. The post that I control is her right side, so we're going to sweep to my left side, if that makes sense. So we control here. Now, my elbow has to be up to put more pressure. If my elbow is straight, she can pull her arm out, like so. So I want you to practice this grip. Put your elbow up to the ceiling, pressure down. If she tries to pull her arm out, she's stuck. Now I have both butterfly hooks in. Now to sweep her, I don't have to fall back. It is possible to go backwards and use my butterfly hook, sweep her over, and go to full mount with the grip on the arm. But it's better to not fall back unless necessary. So the way we're gonna do it, let's do the other angle. So you can see what's happening with the leg. As soon as I get the shoulder crunch, either from the wrestle up, etc., I go up, pressure, get my head in, boom, get the shoulder crunch. And I stay seated upright, and I'm gonna use one of my butterfly hooks, left one in this case, to push on her knee. So we keep the shoulder crunch, and my right elbow goes up to lift her face. You see what's happening? Underneath her jaw. Now, then I push her foot out, just kick her out, sweep, boom, and go over and get my mount position and work with her arm. So that's the basic sweep, yeah? So I use my right elbow to lift her head, yeah? I control the post, push out, sweep. You can do it seated, yeah, kicking out, or you can fall back and use the right butterfly hook. Now, Yolinde here is pretty smart, so she knows what's up. As soon as I have this shoulder crunch grip, she's gonna keep her chin tucked down. So I'm not gonna get underneath with my elbow. You can muscle it through on her face. It's gonna feel very unpleasant. It might work, it should work. But if she does a nice job, she's gonna stay low. I'm gonna use my elbow to go over her head on the other side of her skull and push her head inside. Like I'm gonna tumble her, yeah, like she's doing a rollover, which is exactly what she's gonna do. We're now going that side to sweep. So I wanna lift her up and go to the left. She does a good job. I go over, crunch her in, and now I use my left butterfly hook to sweep this way, boom. And I immediately sit up. Now what I like to do, because her arm is stuck underneath my leg, is work through and try to set up maybe like a mounted triangle, etc., to go for my finish. But the sweep is there for the taking. So these are two basic sweeps from shoulder crunch, using the elbow and the butterfly hook to go to my left side, and if she does a nice job keeping her chin tucked, using the elbow to go across her face, over her head, pushing on the ear, and switching to the other side. Now, pretty basic. Now let's get into the good stuff. So, in the shoulder crunch, we're now gonna fall backwards like we do with a butterfly sweep. Yeah, normally that would be a bit more sideways, and then we're gonna put her back. There's a few what ifs. I'm just gonna touch on them. I'm not gonna explain them, but one of the what ifs is if she bases out with her legs. So we go back and she bases out with her legs. Now I usually like to switch my frames, collect her leg, and start attacking for outside reaps, switching up with leg locks, single leg X. Could be on both legs. So if she puts out her right leg, same thing applies. I grab control of the head. I use the same elbow to keep distance, and I start attacking the leg and reaping from the outside, collecting my finishes, etc. But for now, we're gonna stay with the concept of the shoulder crunch. So we're gonna pull her backwards, and then we're gonna lift her back up and extend her. I wanna make distance between her hip and my hooks. So we get to the shoulder crunch, we keep control, we're gonna fall back, yeah? And as soon as she tries to get her posture back, I'm gonna extend her. You see? So I'm not lifting her up like I'm sweeping, I'm actually extending her back on the mat to make distance between my hooks and her hip, kicking her back. So a little bit more this way, please. Nice. So we get a shoulder crunch grip, we go backwards, like we would sweep her. Yeah, she wants to get a push back, we extend. Now my foot goes to her far side hip. You could go to the far side hip straight away, or you could first put the foot on the close side hip to prevent her from passing. So I hope it's visible on camera, close side hip or far side hip. Now, both serve the same purpose, to keep her away. I like to go with the close side hip first to prevent her from passing. And then this leg is not gonna swing over, but I'm gonna put my knee on her neck, fall to my side, go to the far side hip, switch over. Now I have both her hips pinned with my feet. So if she tries to pass forward, she's pretty stuck, okay? I have one arm isolated, yeah, and I can go into my attack sequence. Let's do it one more time from this angle, then switch angle so you can see what's happening with the arm. So for the far side hip, we keep this angle. So she has the collar tie grip. I also have my collar tie. I'm gonna fall inside, go back, switch to the shoulder crunch, extend, put my foot on the hip, keep pressure on the shoulder, lift my knee to her face, fall to the side, switch my leg, pummel over, and put pressure on her hip. Yeah, in this case, her left arm is stuck. Usually it will be out, like so. Yeah, then I ask my partner to put pressure forward, try and pass. Exactly. And then we get into our attack sequence. Now let's check out the other angle so you can see the arm we're attacking. So we get to the shoulder crunch, could be from here, any position, use my head to frame. Yeah, go back. From here I can immediately go here, but if she puts her weight forward, I first go back, extend, get my distance, boom. Keep her hip away so she doesn't pass. Use my knee in front of her head, like so. Pommel to the outside, flip, and we get to this position. Now this arm is actually the first thing you might want to attack. There's a few more submissions here just from the start. I'm going to explain these submissions in my angle. Now, I haven't angled much yet. I'm still on my left side. So here my first go-to submissions are attacking this arm, but easier getting the secondary arm, switching my legs over and going for a triangle here. Yeah? This inverted triangle is the same one as you would get from side control. So, let's switch again. Sorry about that little switching, guys. But you want to see both angles. So we have the shoulder crunch, we go back, we extend, we block the hip, we go over, fall to the side, block the hip, and go. Yeah? If I feel that her arm is inside, I'm going to switch it with the armbar. It's hard for her to control her secondary arm, but in this case, I always know that this arm is somewhere in this area here. I'm going to control the triceps, kick over, go for the triangle, squeeze, and get my submission. So that's the first one. I haven't angled yet. Now for the next one, I'm going to go one step further, and I'm starting to rotate around her arm. So I'm going to skip the whole entry to save us some time. Just going to go straight to the position. My leg goes over on the hip, and I keep pressure. Now this arm is the one we're going to attack. If I'm still on my left side, it's pretty hard to attack, so I want to rotate around her arm. I'm going to switch my grips, and I'm going to put my forehead on the floor and rotate like so. So I can base here. Now, obviously, we have this belly down armbar here, where I control her arm and go belly down and just start finishing the armbar from here. But she's usually going to defend that one. So we're controlling the hip, controlling here, and she's going to take an S grip on her hands. So please go hands, yes, like so. Here, we can start to finish the belly down armbar, yeah? Or, in this case, I use my head on the floor and I switch my grips to go back for a kimura. Okay? So I do have to rotate first to switch my grips. Now here we can just extend, finish the kimura from the shoulder crunch. So let's go to shoulder crunch again. Boom, boom, boom. If I want to go for the kimura straight away, yeah, I'm not having the proper grip here. It's not a kimura grip. You see? So I have to have this hand here and this hand over. Now, how do I get there from the shoulder crunch? Is by putting my forehead on the floor, basing out, and then finding her wrist and going for a proper kimura grip here. If she holds her hands, or her gi, or her thigh, I hope it's visible, I can use this foot to kick off and pull on the arm. So I'm not just pulling, 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 yeah, because Yolinde is pretty strong, even for a woman, yeah, but especially if I have a very big guy, it's pretty strong here. I'm gonna kick with my foot, I'm just gonna shake it off, rotate, finish the kimura. Now we rotate a little bit to get the kimura. We started off without rotating to go for the triangle, and now we're going to get into some more stuff. So the further we rotate, the different our options become. So we're in the shoulder crunch. Here we can go for the triangle, we can go for the kimura. She closes her hands, I base out, I switch. And now I'm going to use this foot on the hip. It's going to go inside the thigh. The other leg I'm going to pull out, step over, and I'm gonna start to back control. I'm gonna use this hand and my thumb behind the armpit to keep control. I'm gonna start working my second hook in, yeah, or getting for my body triangles, back control, etc. to take her back, which is always a good idea. So we have back takes, triangles, kimuras, belly down arm bars, and we're gonna wrap it up with one more, another triangle variation. So if we're here, I'm gonna lift her, extend, get my space, get my knee in front, rotate over, block her hip, and control the arm. We're gonna switch my grips, put my forehead on the floor. I'm gonna go all the way over. Yeah? Now if I wanna make the triangle here, I'm gonna kick through with my leg, take this leg out, go over. Control her head, fall back across my ankles, and as soon as she postures back into me, we're gonna go for the triangle. If she doesn't go back into me, if she doesn't square up, and she postures up, I'm gonna switch back with this armbar here and finish that. Okay, so to quickly wrap it up, there's a lot of what and ifs in this position, but let's check out one that's very common. So that's when Yolinde tries to block my leg from going over. So I do get the shoulder crunch, I have control, I'm trying to sweep, yeah, and I'm trying to switch up with the shoulder crunch submission. So now my secondary leg, this one, she blocks my shin, and I cannot get it over to control her far side hip. Now that's when this foot comes back into the game, block on her biceps and switch over, yeah? Then I go over, continue, and now I have her arm isolated as well. Or when she blocks the shin, I hope it's clear to see, so blocking the shin here, please, yeah? So here, we're stuck. I get this one over, put my foot in, yeah? And then switch it over and go back to the triangle, connecting this tricep, like so. And finishing up with a basic triangle. So the hand on the shoulder crunch, maybe let's angle a little bit. The hand on the shoulder crunch, that's usually doing the sweeping part. This one, she blocks the foot, like so, cannot swing. I'm gonna use this foot, bring it in, block, go over, and now this hand, the one on the head, grabs the tricep here, and I switch. Collect my shin, finish up, dive, finish with my triangle. So that's the first troubleshooting with the leg, and the later one is as soon as I'm starting to rotate already, so I am over, my right leg goes over to the hip, I'm starting to rotate, put my foot on the floor, yeah? And now she blocks this leg from going over because she doesn't want me to do the back take. So if she lets go of the foot, she doesn't want me to go out, push myself over and start collecting for the back take. So we're here basing on my forehead, she keeps control of this one. Same thing applies, I put my foot on the bicep, like so, and I kick out. I can now either do my back take or collect her head, cross my ankles, and go for the triangle here when she squares back up with me, or when she postures away, go back to the belly down armbar. And when she squares back up, collect her head, switch back up with the normal triangle. Okay guys, so there you have it. A lot of stuff from the shoulder crunch. I wanted to put it in one video. I'm sorry it took a while, but we wanted to do the basic sweeps. What if she postures up with the legs, show some entry into leg locks, sweeping left side, cupping the head, sweeping the other side, trying to stay seated, and working all the submission angles. As soon as we block the hip, go over, getting kimuras, belly down arm bars, back takes, and different versions of triangles. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.